I'm going to show you how to find the standard deviation, the mean, and the 5-number summary for a set of numbers if we have a TI-84 calculator. And so it's going to be harder for you to do because we don't have the numbers in front of us. But if I have a set of numbers that I know, and I just wrote a bunch down, I have 19, 21, 14, 10, 3, 17, 20, 21, 6, 11, 14, and 22. So what I'm going to do is this. Here's my main screen, and anytime I want to get back to my main screen, I'm going to push the second button right here and then mode, and that's going to get me back to my main screen, which is right here. To put my numbers in, I'm going to go to Stat. So I'm going to push the Stat button, and notice it says Edit, Sort, Clear List, Setup Editor, and Calc. At any point, if you need to, you can go to Clear List, or you can go to Setup Editor, and that's going to reset your calculator. I can always help you with that too, but I'm just going to edit for right now. So when I go edit, notice I have stuff in my list, and this would have been from another thing that I did, another activity. So I'm going to take my arrow, which is right here, and I'm going to go up here. I'm going to hit Clear, Enter, and that's going to clear my list. You can clear it over here by pushing the number 5. You can either scroll down to the number 5, or I can just hit the number 5, and then, whoops, not number 5, number 4, sorry, number 4, and then I gotta clear all that, and I'll go 4, and then I would go second, number 1, because I want list 1, hit enter, and that means my list is now clear, and then I'm gonna clear this, Stat, enter, and now I'm going to put those numbers in that I told you earlier, which was 19, and I'm going to hit enter after each one. Okay, so make sure you hit enter after each one, or it's not going to work. And so I'm going to put these numbers in, 20, 21, 6, 11, 14, and 22. Make sure you especially hit enter after this last number. And so you'll see down here it says L113. That means it's looking for the 13th number, which means you have put in 12 numbers. Okay? So now what I'm going to do is, this is a sample of numbers. I'm picking numbers from ages of people around me. I don't know. Doesn't really matter. But I'm going to tell you that it's a sample. And so because it's a sample, I'm going to be finding the sample standard deviation and all of that. So I'm going to go Stat. Again, this is that button. This button here, Stat, becomes very important to us. So I'm going to push Stat, and I'm going to move my cursor. So I'm going to go over to here, where my cursor is right here, and I'm going to go over to Calc, and I want to pick number 1. Again, you can hit the number 1 on your calculator, or you can just hit Enter. And I'm going to hit Enter here. So now this is saying List 1, Frequency List. I don't need a frequency list, and I'm going to hit Calculate. And this is going to give me, here is my average, right here my mean is 14.8. This here, SX, is my sample standard deviation, which is what I told you I wanted, 6.2788. I would round to 6.3 or 6.28 depending on what is asked. My population standard deviation is 6.0. That's if we know all of our numbers. And then if you notice there's a blinker here and there's an arrow, and there's a number of items. Look, minimum, Q1, scroll down, there's my 5-number summary. Minimum, maximum, Q1, median, and Q3. I can now use that data to make a box and whisker plot. I'm going to show you that. So I have my 5-number summary here. I can either draw it, or I can go second. Anytime I push second, it's going to give me something that's in blue. Second, Stat Plot. I'm going to hit Enter to turn it. I'm going to hit Enter twice because I want to turn it on. I'm going to pick this one right here. Whoops. So I'm going to move my cursor. I'm going to hit Enter. Notice I've got my X list, which is L1. That's going to help me make sure that I'm using the numbers that I just found in list 1. My frequency, I'm going to keep that as that. My color, I'm going to keep it as orange. But now, in order to graph this, I don't want to reset my window, because I have to set it to hit the numbers that I have here. I'm going to push Zoom, and I'm going to put 9, because that's going to hit my graph to whatever my data is. So I'm going to hit Zoom 9, And look at that, there's my box and whisker plot, and I can push trace, and it's going to take me from my Q1, my minimum, my Q1, my median, Q3, and my maximum. Okay, so that's how we graph a box and whisker. That's how we find the standard deviation of a set of numbers. So let's clear this. We want to always turn our graph off. So go second y equals and hit enter, move your cursor, go off. Another thing you can do is you can go y equals, take your cursor up, hit enter, and that will turn it off and on. It's on if it's highlighted, it's off if it's not. So I want to clear my list. So I'm either going to go edit, go up, hit clear, enter, and that's going to clear it. Or I'm going to go stat, I'm going to hit number 4. I keep putting number 5 by mistake. I'm going to go stat, number 4, and I'm going to go second L1 because that's the list I want to clear, and clear my list that way. Let's just put in some grades that somebody might have gotten in a class. So they got 100 and a 98 and a 75 and an 87 and an 88 and an 80 and a 0. And we're going to see what happens to your average when you've got all those pretty good grades and then you have a 0. Let's put another 100 in there, 2 more hundreds. Okay, so we're going to go stat, calc, 1 var stats, and I'm going to go down. I'm going to hit calculate, and my average is 80.8. You can see because I used all the grades, my standard deviation is going to be right here because I used all of the grades that I have, so it's going to be 29.9. If it was just some of the grades, I would use 31.7. I had 9 numbers. My minimum was 0. My maximum is 100. My third quartile was 100. My median is 88, and my first quartile is 77.5. I'm going to go second y equals. I'm going to hit enter or hit 1. Make sure you turn your graph on. You want to make sure it's on, so I'm going to hit enter to turn it on. I've already got my box and whisker plot picked. I'm going to change my color to navy, and I'm going to go zoom 9, and that's going to hit my graph to fit the data that I've been given. And there is my box and whisker plot. And I'm going to hit trace, and that's going to take me from my minimum to my maximum and back. And I can see what my numbers are that way as well. Okay, so again, I want to clear this. So I'm going to go second mode to get out of that screen. I'm going to go y equals. I'm going to take my cursor up, hit enter, hit my cursor down, and now second mode, and now my graph is off. Things are much easier. So that's a quick rundown of how to do this on a TI-84, which is what I've asked you to try to put on your computers. You do need to have a graphing calculator. TI-84 is a little bit better than a TI-83, or a lot better. These are the best ones we can use for stats because they're the simplest to use, yet still do what we need to do. Okay, so that's what we have for calculator instructions at this point, and we'll do more later.